Breaking tonight, more than 400 reported shootings and 94 murders in the city of Chicago so far this year, prompting a surprising new reaction from President Obama's former chief of staff, William Daley, who suggested that a stop and frisk program, long considered very controversial, is probably what Chicago needs to do to combat the violence. Joining me now with reaction tonight is attorney Eric Guster. Eric, you listened to that report. What's your reaction?
I listened to that report and I think about the fairness in stop and frisk. Stop and frisk is not unlawful, but what, for example, NYPD did, they would stop people unlawfully. For example, over 80% of the stops when NYPD instituted that rule were black people, black and brown people, and that's very unfair. So we take this argument that stop and frisk works, which it does not, which the NYPD statistics clearly state that stop and frisk, when it was implemented improperly by the NYPD, for example, did not lower gun deaths. It did not lower gun seizures. However, we have to look at the opioid addiction.
Okay.
Look at it in the same vein, Martha. Should we stop white women and white men because opioids are killing them and start searching their cars illegally and going into their house illegally? That is something that we should consider as well if we want to do this.
In terms of the violence that's happening in Chicago, don't you want to protect those communities to the greatest extent that you can? You have more black victims by, black, in many cases, black perpetrators. And they're being told that they have to stop people equally, Caucasians, blacks, that they can't have a higher number of stops based on even the population in that neighborhood. That makes absolutely no sense. Do you concede that?
They have to make legal stops, and that is the issue. They have to make legal stops. For example, when the NYPD
do you
utilized
understand
this,
that what's happening is making people less safe, Eric? Wouldn't you prefer, if you lived in that neighborhood, for the police to stop more people than fewer people when people are dying at a much higher rate?
I want them to stop people legally, just like I want to stop the opioid addictions and the opioid deaths. So we need to start going to these people's houses and start doing that. That is the same argument that you're making. So you want them to stop and frisk for
opioids, but not
No. I'm not saying that.
That's what it sounds like you're saying.
I'm telling you that the same argument would go for opioid addiction. Oh, these people are killing themselves and overdosing. Should we illegally search their houses and illegally search their cars in order to stop those deaths? It's the same exact thing. But we have to make sure that we follow the law when it comes to stopping people. What we have to
make sure is that the law-abiding citizens who live in these communities are in a safer situation, because they're not right now. And we need to ramp up and make sure that they have what they need.
And 90% of those stops that were made on these, 90% of those stops were illegal, Martha, and that's the problem.
All right, I want to get your reaction.